Do I really have to? Do I really have to talk about this? Well, I'm not gonna find any other excuse to talk about it, so let's just get it over with. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Morphin May, welcome back to Animation Station, and welcome to Power Rangers 2017. Wasted potential. That's the quickest and easiest way I can sum this movie up. It's wasted potential. Like, think about it. You have a reboot of Power Rangers trying to completely flip the series on its head, trying to do something completely different, completely new, add a bit more dark and grittiness to it. But the problem is, almost every idea it has, it fails in execution. I mean, the cast is fine. I don't hate any characters here, but they're just generic cliches. Now, granted, yes, the original Mighty Morphin had that problem too, but you could chalk that up to the time period that came out in. This, you cannot forgive that excuse. Rita is awful. What did they do to Rita? She's not a good villain. She's not anywhere near the iconicity of Barbara Goodson's. And her design is crap. I mean, yeah, the actress does fine with the material she's given, but the problem is the material she's given is bad. This movie's biggest sin is its writing. It is so generic, cliche, and boring. It is the most rushed out, garbage writing you can imagine. Now, is it a completely awful movie? No. It's not completely awful. I mean, the suit designs are fine, even though they brought back that stupid molded mouth. But you know what? It's supposed to be a reboot of the original Mighty Morphin in modern times, so I can give it a little bit of a pass. Yes, there is the cool little cameo from Jason David Frank and Amy Jo Johnson. That's cool. Yes, some of the powers and things they come up with are interesting. And yes, the movie itself isn't entirely boring, and it's way better than the god-awful Turbo movie. Absolutely. But still, in terms of Power Ranger movies, Clash of the Red Rangers is the best one we've gotten, because the Mighty Morphin movie, as much as I personally enjoy it, I can't call it more than decent. Turbo was crap. And then Clash of the Red Rangers was much better than I remember. And then this is just as painfully mediocre and average as when I first saw it. And I wanted to give this movie a chance. Like, it took me 4 years to actually finally watch this movie, because I could never afford the DVD, I couldn't afford going to the theaters. Like, I completely missed out on it, pretty much, so all I had to rely on were the reviews. And they were calling it pretty much what I am, painfully average, extremely cliche, very boring. Like, when I heard that, I didn't even want to watch it. But at the same time, I had this weird, morbid curiosity. So, after 4 years, literally, I believe it was either last year or 2020. It was either, let me think, 18, 19, 20. It was either 2021 or 2020, one of those years. I finally got to sit down and watch it. And I was left disappointed. The redesigns were fine. I couldn't really... Like, I don't hate this movie. Don't even try to think I hate it, because there's way better... Well, there's way better reboots, but there's also way worse reboots out there, too. So, I can't even say this is among, like, the worst pieces of crap I've ever seen, because it's not. It has some good potential, and I do like some of the scenes, and the actors are absolutely trying here, aside from Jason, who's just a flat bored most of the movie. But, I mean, then you have friggin' Bryan Cranston. Bryan Cranston is Zordon. And he's a bit more of a hard-edged guy than the original Zordon. Like, I can get behind that. But then you have Alpha's awful redesign. Like, what were you thinking with that mess? Just, no. Get that horrible friggin' abomination away from me! And then you have the suit design, how it tries to lean more into the cosmic side of things. Then you have the Zords, which are just all super dull and boring, with little hints of their actual color, and the most of it being bland, boring Transformer gray. And then the Megazord design. Horrible. It is boring. It is absolutely not at all visually interesting. And it just looks like a blatant knockoff of a Transformer. The Megazord is an awful design. That needed more time in the oven, and whoever actually approved that design, approved any of the Zord designs for that matter, needs to be fired. Also fire the moron that decided to reboot Goldar into a giant Megazord-only like monster form. Seriously. Oh, and let's not forget, also fire the stupid exec that thought that Krispy Kreme donuts should be a major part of the movie. Like, who thought that was a good idea? Like, every time I try to say something positive about this movie, a negative comes lurking in right under the surface and then just jolts right back up in my head. Like, I don't want to hate this movie, and I don't hate this movie, but I can't call it good. I can't call it god-awful. It's just painfully average. It's another reboot that just comes and goes. It's in one ear and out the other. Like, heck, before I even did this review, before I even did this most recent rewatch, I couldn't remember a single thing about this movie. None of it. I couldn't remember a single thing. And just finishing rewatching it again didn't help, because I still felt like I didn't remember a single thing about it, aside from the suits, and even then it's just because of how bizarre they are. Like, they're not bad suits. The suits are fine. But, they just scream gritty reboot. They scream gritty reboot, and they scream rushed and half-efforted. This movie is half-efforted. That's the best way I can put it. It is half-efforted, painfully average, bore fests. The whole movie. I mean, every now and then you get a decent scene, like sometimes with the way Rita can manipulate gold to her well. Like, that's a really cool scene, but then that's screwed up by saying that this big giant golden monster thing that's literally in only the final act of the movie is Goldar, who's supposed to be her right-hand man. Like, why? Why does this movie even exist? Money. It exists for money. Nothing more and nothing less. Yes, the actors, for the most part, are trying. Yes, there is worse reboots and worse movies out there. But this is just one of those films that puts me to sleep. I mean, it tries to be different with, like, the personalities of all the characters, and it plays around with it a bit, but then you have the crotch joke. Just, no. Oh, and let's not forget the post-credits scene where they tried to tease that Rita is the evil Green Ranger. No mention of Tommy in this universe whatsoever. Which just makes the fact that JDF cameoed in this thing even more confusing. Outside of, oh hey, there's that guy I really like back there. Oh hey, and he's also with Kimberly. Like, it's nostalgia bait. It's money-grabbing nostalgia bait. Look, if you guys and why. Like, it has really cool things about it. The suits are fine. I like Bryan Cranston's Zordon, and it has really cool fight scenes. Even though the fight scenes in this movie are very brief, but they're still cool. And the morphing sequence is cool as well. I'll also give it that, where they stand in front of this glowing thing in the room, and it just materializes onto them. Like, that is very interesting, and I'll give them a couple bit of props for that. But outside of that, a painfully average bore. Not bad, not good, just boring and unmemorable whatsoever. My final verdict for... what was it called again? Oh yeah, Power Rangers 2017 is a 5 out of 10. Painfully average snoozer. Even if you are the most dedicated Power Ranger fan in the known universe, don't bother with this, okay? It's not garbage, but it's not good either. And it's not worth your time, and it's not really worth even being part of the Morphin legacy. I'm sorry to be harsh, but this is my pure, honest thoughts. It is a reboot that fails as a reboot, and it fails at just being a good Power Rangers movie. You want a better Power Rangers movie? Go watch the Mighty Morphin movie and Clash of the Red Rangers. Those are the only two I can actually recommend to you. Until maybe, I don't know, Hasbro's trying to get a Netflix movie off the ground, apparently. Well, let's just hope they don't take cues from this boring as flip movie. Oh man, this is a movie that just makes me sad because, I mean, I want a Power Rangers movie again. It's been a long time since we've had a Power Rangers movie, and a good one at that. But the problem is, almost every time they try, they always find some way to just screw it up. We've never had a genuinely great Power Rangers movie yet. And that is sad. Especially after how great some of the actual seasons of the show have been. Just freaking Lionsgate screwing everything up with their corporate BS once again. That's all I got. See you tomorrow for Super Ninja Steel.